What's up, everyone? This is Red Bull Tanker with Operation Fog of War, Turn 6 for the UK and the Far East Command. Turn 5 and the end of Turn 5 and the beginning of Turn 6. Still things are pretty fluid in Europe and the Pacific. Starting off, the Germans retook Norway. They had a host of tanks hidden in Viborg that we couldn't see because of the fog of war. And they swooped on in and grabbed Norway and also grabbed a factory. Though strategic bombing from the United States dealt damage to both Norway and Western Germany's factories. So that'll at least be a little bit of IPC taken away from the Germans next turn. In Africa, the Italians out of Egypt, Sudan blitzed through and took the Belgian Congo and everything. Let's see here. What else was going on? What else happened that I can remember? Let's see here. Just still more back and forth in Russia for the Germans and the Russians. Still a lot of back and forth there. China's kind of breaking out into China a little bit as the Japanese kind of pull back. Japan took their fleet from around the Philippines and its ground forces, and they've made their way back towards India. We've decided that we're probably not going to stand and fight. We might just pull back and try and save the day. And then in the Pacific, the U.S. fleet has moved out. They've taken the Caroline Islands and have some forces over here ready to come back in and help. All right. So we didn't have any purchases, or we didn't do any any scouting this turn. So purchases. In Europe, we did 3 tanks, a tactical, and an infantry. And in the Pacific, we bought 3 spies. And those spies were used to spy Sea Zones 95, 97, and Southern Italy. This isn't entirely up to date, but what we found in Southern Italy was at least an infantry and a fighter. So that was about that. Attacks. We had 2 attacks this turn. One, we took our mech and went into and liberated Alexandria. And then we took our fighter from Iraq, killed this free transport. And those were our only attacks this turn. Non-combats. All right, so non-combats. Starting off, the British fleet in Norway went 1, 2 to join the Americans and to join the American Second Fleet in Sea Zone 109 to back them up. Coming down here, we've taken our 2 infantry in South Africa and we're moving up to Rhodesia as a blocking force. The fleet in the Red Sea is all coming down to Sea Zone 72 off of French Madagascar, just to get out of the way of the enemy forces there. And then all of our forces in and around Transjordan are all joining the reconstituted 8th Army in Transjordan. So that's everything on the European side of the map. And over here in India, our 1 mech from India is going to East Persia. The rest of the 14th Army is moving into Western India, though we are leaving behind 3 infantry as a blocking force against the Japanese. And that pretty much rounds out the that rounds out all of our non-combats. Like I said, things aren't really looking up for us now that we're basically in a stalemated war over here in the Pacific, over here in the Middle East. So we're not really going to be able to help our allies at all. All right, so deployments. So we dropped 3 tanks in Iraq. We dropped our tactical in Persia. And actually, if if I remember correctly, actually, forgive me, the Americans in their turn, I saw this and I forgot to do this. Hold on. Where was it? The Americans had taken one of their planes and they had actually moved it into either Eastern Persia or Persia. It's in one of these two. I remember seeing that on the map that I'd gotten. And like I said, I didn't fully get this map completely updated for the turn, so I do apologize for that. And then finally, our 1 infantry is deploying down here. And the Union of South Africa. You're off the board. All right, so then... Oops, sorry. So it's pretty much it for our turn. I mean, we have plans for the Americans to help us move the Canadian army over to Europe. I think now we've kind of decided that Africa is now going to be the choke point. And that, I think, is where we're planning to focus our forces next. It's coming down here into Africa to help prop that up and maybe start putting the squeeze on the Italians a little bit more. So at the end of the turn, we collected for Europe, we collected, I believe, we collected 30 IPC, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we collected 30 IPC for Europe, and we still collected 6 for the Far East, which, even though the Japanese, don't think the Japanese know what we'll have in the bank, but we're pretty much going to leave them with nothing, because one of the things that you can do in this game is at the start of the next round, you can spend 3 IPC to see the purchases of one of your enemies. So we definitely are planning to spend 3 IPC to see I believe we're going to see Italy's purchase next turn and see what they build. So the Japanese will only be left with about 2 IPC in the bank when they make their move into Italy, or make their move into India. Though we are hoping maybe they'll pull some forces back, because the United States has a couple ideas of what they might want to do from the Caroline Islands. So we'll just have to wait and see. All right, so that is it for turn 6. The UK and the Far East Command are kind of sitting in limbo. They're bogged down in the Middle East and are set to lose India. So that's it for now, and we'll see you guys again for turn 7. So until then, guys, take care.